Hello, I'm here. I lost track of time. I almost didn't make it on time. I was watching a YouTube video about the Starship launch and the damage that was done at the facility, and it was bad. But I'm here. I made it. Hello, Ashley. Thank you very much. Yep, y'all hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hello, Diane. Let me put this over here onto live chat. There we go. I finished a section last night. This one right here. I didn't start a new one yet. Figured I'm going to start one tonight. So, I don't know. Should I start here or there? I'll go here. Probably have way too much light right there. Still not. No, Ashley. I'm sure he'll be around. I know it's tough, but I'm sure he'll find his way home. I mean, does he go out very often? I mean, I know you don't let him out very often, but has he gotten out and wandered around before to where he would know his way home if he had to? But normally they don't wander far anyway. So I have been busy, especially yesterday, last night, getting some additions made for the channel. I am going to be upgrading some things here soon. Oh no. If he broke his pelvis, it sounds to me like somebody got hit by a car. Hi, Dreamer. So as I said, making some upgrades to the channel. I'm really trying to get this one to take off this time. I mean, it kind of took off the last time, but you know, I'm really trying to get this thing to take off big time. So I've got some big things in store coming up soon. I'm waiting on a couple of things, and I can make the announcements. And it's all kind of centering around the 4-year anniversary of the channel, which happens on May 4th. And no, it's a surprise, Diane. You'll find out. Just stay tuned. I've already got the announcement videos recorded, edited, ready to go, ready to upload. I'm tired too. I've already got it all done and ready. I'm waiting because I have to wait till the final couple things are in place. Then I can announce it and see where it goes from there. And I hope it works the way I want it to. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I'm taking a little bit of kratom here. All right. Where was I? There I am. I can barely see this thing because the way the light's reflecting off of this section, it's like glaring off of it. But I will announce right now, and I will upload, I think after the live is over tonight, I'll go in and make the actual live stream out on YouTube so that it'll be there and everybody can see it. But the channel's anniversary, 4 years, is May 4th, which is a Thursday after this coming Thursday, so next week. That Saturday afterwards, the 6th, I intend on going live probably around noon-ish, and I will be live for 24 straight hours until sometime around noon-ish on Sunday. So that way I don't miss the NASCAR race afterwards, which I'll probably end up falling asleep during if I do live for 24 hours before that. But that is the plan right now for that weekend. Now, this coming weekend, next weekend, the 30th, I will go live at my normal time. And then I will go live on the 6th till the 7th, the following weekend. So that way I will not go live the night of the 7th for my normal Sunday night live. Because I think 24 hours from Saturday till Sunday is more than enough in one weekend. Oh, Dreamer, I do it all the time. Diane, how much more do I have to be done with this painting? Okay, when I finish this right here, I will be 1/4 of the way done with the whole thing. What you're seeing here from here to here is 50 centimeters. From where the edge of my light pad is to here is about 50 centimeters. And from here to there is 40. And I've still got over here another 50 centimeters. So I've got a 100, I will have a 100 by 40 centimeter section done. This thing is 160 centimeters tall. So this would be approximately 1/4 of the painting, the bottom 1/4 of the painting done. Yeah, Dreamer, I stay awake that long a lot. You can ask any of the other Zoom people that, you know, I'm known for my late nights and overnights and staying up all nights. And then I'm also known sometimes for falling asleep in Zoom and not waking up until 2:30 in the morning, then going to bed and having to get back up at 5:30 for work. But being that I'm starting on a Saturday, it shouldn't be a problem because I'll get plenty of sleep Friday night. And so I'll be fresh and ready to go at about noon on Saturday anyway. So shouldn't be any trouble staying awake 24 hours. Could be a struggle to stay awake for 3 hours a night, though. All right. I need to start somewhere. Where am I going to start? Yeah, Hank. I hear you, buddy. He's over there groaning like an old man. Yeah, I see you looking at me. Hello, Cindy Lee. Really? Y'all keep Pink Poodle in your thoughts. She's her kitty wandered off and has not come home yet. And she is beside herself, worried about him. So, which is understandable. I know how I was when Hank got out and left. Went on walkabout around the neighborhood. Shit. Ugh. So who else watched that launch this week? Wasn't that something? They kind of damaged the launch facility a lot, and Elon says a couple of months and they'll be back up and running and launching again. And I don't think he has seen the amount of damage firsthand. It pretty much dug an entire hole out from underneath that launch pad, and it tore up all of the rebar foundation, all of the concrete foundation, and rebar. It twisted rebar like bread ties underneath of there. Um, I don't think they're launching in 2 months. But the launch itself was quite the success, even though they had to terminate the flight early. They didn't actually even expect to make it as far as what they did, so it was a huge success. I think they said something about they got 120 terabytes of data from that little 4 minute flight. And they already have a next generation booster ready to go with a next generation Starship. So the next one that goes up is likely to have less problems than this one did because they're getting rid of the hydraulic power units, which is if you watch the launch and you watched it go up about 30 seconds, you saw a bright flash on the side of the rocket at the base of it. That was the hydraulic power unit exploding. From that point on, the flight was doomed. Um, it leaked all the hydraulic fluid out, which would allow stage separation to not happen because that works off hydraulics, and steering of the rocket could not happen because that requires hydraulics as well. The new Starship, the one they have ready to go and launch whenever they can get it up there, has electronic steering and electronic power for that kind of stuff. So they're doing away with the hydraulic completely, and it's already built, ready to go. All they got to do is put it on the pad, fuel it up, and launch it. But that pad is not going to be ready to be used in a while. I had to rearrange my work schedule that day. Well, I didn't rearrange my work schedule. I just got myself intentionally a half hour ahead of schedule on purpose so that I would be able to stop and watch the lunch while I was in the truck at work on my phone. Um, because I have been sitting here. There's a YouTube channel I go to called Lab Padre, and he has about 10 different live cameras all around um, the SpaceX facilities, like outside the gates and stuff, like just kind of semi permanent cameras, live cameras that run 24/7. And I spent an awful lot of time at home watching those, just sitting in the chat rooms and talking to the other space nerds, speculating on things, watching all of the tests from closer up than what you get to see on TV or on SpaceX live streams and stuff. It's pretty neat. Just an inside behind the scenes look at day to day operations there. So what y'all do this week? Just a typical, everyday, normal week. Oh no, Diane, I'm sorry. Is she okay? I mean, nothing serious, I hope. Hi, Hank. I did not give them treats at 5 o'clock. That's what he's upset about. He slept right through them. You slept through them. Oh, I didn't do it this time. It ain't my fault. You slept through them. You didn't remind me at 5 o'clock. I was sitting right here watching the race. You could have come over here and said, "Hey, Dad, time for treats," and you didn't. Oh well, that's good. Y'all give me just a second here. Let me go give these little monsters some treats. Want some treats? Okay, come on. Hey, buddy. Aria. Here she comes. Here, baby. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry. But I'm glad that's all that's wrong. If her ribs are just a little sore, I mean, that's could be a whole lot worse. So yesterday I got to meet up with Nana and Miss Dawn Marie and had lunch. We got to hang out for a little bit. We had Mexican and sat there and chit chatted a little bit about things. Haven't seen them in a while. It's kind of nice to get together and catch up. Today is Dawn Marie's birthday. So if she pops in here, I want y'all to say happy birthday to her. I doubt she will, though. They're in Mississippi at the casino, so hopefully she's winning a lot of money. Oh, yeah, we had a great time, Dreamer. Yeah, they called me up yesterday. I had just kind of woke up and was getting moving around, and Nana called. She goes, "Hey, we're coming through town on the way to Mississippi. You want to stop and have lunch?" I'm like, "Yeah." So after I got done lunch, I went and got the oil changed in my company truck, and then went and talked to the dealership about my car payment. Worked out my payment arrangement with them on that, and then I came home and worked on stuff for the channel. Ooh, shame on you. Shame on you. Cindy Lee, diamond painting to keep busy because my anxiety was really bad, so I needed something for me to focus on. You know what? I get it. I totally get it. I use it as an escape too. What did you get today? Oh. You know, I'm not on a no buy because I don't want to spend money. I'm on a no buy because I just don't have the money to spend. You know, I'm working my butt off at this job, and it just doesn't feel like I'm ever going to get caught up to where I've got any extra money left over after I pay the paycheck. After I pay my car payment and my rent, then I can pay one bill. But I've got like four bills that need to be paid, and then not to mention the other, miscellaneous things that come up. Plus, I got to buy cat food, me food, cat litter. It's been a struggle here a lot lately. The bling kits from Tmall. Is she making a kit for that one, or does she already have one made for that one? Oh wow! Didn't realize that was going to be. I guess I hadn't even seen it. I don't even know what the painting looks like. So I'm guessing it must be a pretty popular painting if she's already got bling kits for it. I'll be honest, I don't pay that much attention to Diamond Art Club anymore. I like the AC Dreamer. I've ordered a lot from them. It's just that, you know, back before I went away for a year or so, they were just releasing, but not every single week releasing new things and everything. They weren't doing that yet. And now it's like every week everybody's waiting with bated breath for the next release. And they're all getting the newsletters and checking them out and getting them ahead of time and buying and pre-ordering and going nuts over all these things. And it's just like, I just have not kept up with it. Hey, Robert, there you are. So y'all, odd but nice, commented on one of my videos. I think it was last week's live. She commented on it. Said, I hear you've been asking about me. I'm like, yeah, I have. We miss you. Oh, yeah, Diane, I think that's a lot of people. I've noticed that, there's a lot more people do small paintings than I thought. I didn't realize that. I've joined a few Facebook groups recently, and most of them are like all like brand new beginners. And they're all working these little tiny 30 by 40s and posting the finishes. And I'm like, y'all ain't heard of Diamond Art Club yet, obviously. And then you got the other crowd that's like at showing off their Diamond Art Club and like, I will never ever buy another one from Amazon or AliExpress ever again. I will only ever buy Diamond Art Club. It's like, you're kind of limiting yourself in variety. Yeah, I've heard she hangs out in Riv's lives. Think I heard that last week when I was near talking and asking about her. But yeah, she commented on last week's live. I think it was last week's live that she commented on, and it was kind of nice. Well, I mean, a lot of those people don't have channels, Dreamer. They're people in Facebook groups. You know, most of them aren't YouTubers. They're just diamond painters in groups. But yeah, I mean, if you're a YouTuber and you only buy Diamond Art Club, you could get by if you buy a new release every week when a new one comes out. You could get by and have plenty of content. That's not an issue with that if you only buy Diamond Art Club. But you know, like you said, you are kind of limiting your channel because a channel isn't just about Diamond Art Club. It's about reviews and unboxings and you know different alternatives for those that can't afford Diamond Art Club. You know, that's what I like to focus on. I like to focus on the other things that you know. If you can't afford Diamond Art Club, here's a company over here that makes really good ones, and they're kind of cheap. You know, this is what to watch out for. This is what to look for. You know, and I think you know I think that's what I really have focused on a lot. But yeah, there's a lot more people that prefer to do small diamond paintings that I didn't even realize there were that many. I've always thought that, you know, most people enjoyed the bigger Diamond Art Club 40 by 50, 60 by whatever, 80 by 60, whatever, you know. I didn't realize that there were so many people that only do small ones. Oh, wow. Having a sale for $10. I need to check that out, even though I don't even have $10 to spend right now. There's Odd. Hello. We were just discussing you. I was just telling everybody I saw you, or that you commented on my live from last week. You finished them on time. Are you on a deadline? What in the world? Hold on. Time out, y'all. Somebody, it sounds like the town is having a fireworks display out there, or there's some kind of something major blowing up, one or the other. It's still going. It's in like clusters of explosions, like pow, pow, pow. It doesn't sound like normal fireworks. And I don't think there's anything in town going on that requires fireworks. There's no like big events in town this weekend. I mean, there was yesterday was A Day. That was the annual Alabama Spring Scrimmage, and that's almost as big deal as a regular home game. They pack the stadium full of people for a game where it's just the team playing against itself. We had tailgaters and everything out here yesterday. It's still going on. Oh, sounded like it stopped. Aria is still my munchkin. Aria, come here. That is so odd. It's popping off out there now. It sounds like a war zone. Aria. Sounds like we're under attack. There's Aria. There she is. She's my little munchkin. She got short little legs. No, she's not nearly as big as Hank. Oh, she's fluffier than him. She's way fluffier than he is. Man, that is loud. Whatever it is done. Dreamer. No, yes, they do get along, and no, they don't get along. They get along when Hank wants to. Most of the time, he's busy trying to bully her. I've noticed that lately. That's what it's been. But no, she is not fixed. And yes, she is still a pain in the ass when she goes into heat, which she is coming into heat now soon again because she's starting to get really loving, which is not like Aria. She normally keeps to herself, stays in the bedroom, under the bed, or on the bed. Doesn't come out here unless it's time to eat her for time for treats. You don't see her. But now it's like she's always coming out and meowing at me, getting on the desk, wanting attention, which tells me she's about to go into heat. And it's about to be a rough week with her. I love the little monster to death, but I want to give her away every time she goes into heat. Like, here, somebody else take her for the week while she's in heat. I can't take this anymore. Because what she does, she gets down here under my desk. For whatever reason, she likes to go right over by my computer where all the wires kind of hang down off the computer and come back up to the desk or whatever. And she likes to get tangled all up in them damn wires, rubbing herself all over them wires. And then she gets all tangled up in them and pulls all my stuff off the desk and unhooks the wires. And that's where she wants to stay all the time. I can move her out of there 50 times a day and she'll run right back under there. Well, this one ain't sneaking out. Aria does not like going out that door. Not at all. She, that time Hank got out and the door was left wide open, she did not go out. She would go to the door and she would sit by the door looking out, but she would not go across that threshold and go outside. She is scared to death to go outside. Aria is scared of everything. She's scared of her own shadow. Like she heard all that noise out there. And granted, whatever fireworks they were not going on like right out in the parking lot. They were going on somewhere off in the distance, like back behind the apartment somewhere. But she likes to sit up in the window in the bedroom, in the windowsill. And when I went in there to go look for her, she was just out of the windowsill and she was hunkered down and like cowering under the window because of the noise. And she tried to run from me when I went in to pick her up. She's scared of everything. Well, that's good to hear, Odd. I'm sorry you needed to. I can understand the overwhelming and overstimulated. I get that way myself sometimes. But I now have that hiking outlet, so if I feel that way, I can always call my buddy Jordan up and say, "Hey, I'm ready to go to the Smokies this weekend," and he will gladly. Okay. he if he could live in the Smokies on the top of the mountain on the trail, he would. He's got no problem coming up with an excuse to go and hike in the Smokies. Yeah, we do. We care about you. We care about everybody that we see in here on a regular basis. We really do. YouTube has become a nice family of people. Um, some of those people, not as close a family as others, but you know, we all know and feel for anybody that's going through anything that we know on here. So I think I was reminiscing not too long ago with somebody about how I met you, Odd. I think we were both in one of Esky's lives one night. And when it ended, there was this channel that had this like hideous music playing on loop. And it just had a thing on the screen that says, "Staying live until I reach 1,000 subs." I had just started my YouTube channel at that point. And I was in there in that live stream, and Odd But Nice popped up and we started talking in there. And that's how we actually kind of met. We had both just come from Esky's live and found it. I guess it had recommended it to both of us. Yeah, you remember that. Well, Odd, I just announced that not this coming weekend, but the weekend after on Saturday, the 6th, I'm going to go live around noon, and I'm going to stay live for 24 hours until noon on Sunday to celebrate the 4-year anniversary of the channel, which is on May 4th, which is next Thursday. Kind of hoping for better turnout than just 13 folks, though. "24 hours. Yep, Robert. I'm going to do 24 hours, noon until noon, Saturday to Sunday, the 6th and 7th. I mean, I don't expect anybody at all to just stay in here for all 24 hours. That would be ridiculous. But part of it is I want to celebrate the 4-year anniversary of the channel. The other part is I need to get my watch hours back up so I can monetize. So I seem to get more watch hours on each live than I do on my uploads. So if I stay live for 24 hours, I ought to get a crap ton of watch hours. Because my typical live, okay, with what I've been averaging lately, about 18, 20 peak concurrent viewers and averaging somewhere around 15 to 17 viewers total at any given time. I've been getting anywhere from 39 to 45, 46 watch hours per 3-hour live. So I should do pretty good if I do 24 hours straight. Dreamer, I come into this 3-hour one with barely enough material to cover 3 hours, but I rely on the chat. I do my lives different than some people. Like some people come in with like I know T-Mall has a checklist. She goes through at the end. She goes, okay, did I do this? Did I touch on that? Did I do that? I don't come in here with any kind of checklist or anything. There's a few things that I kind of want to say, and I usually get that out of the way at the beginning. And then from then on, I rely on the chat to keep the conversation going. So if nobody's chatting at all, then I don't have anything to talk about. And then I'll sit here and just start coming up with weird, odd things to just say and discuss that really most people will be like, why? I don't care. So I'm figuring on a 24-hour live, there's going to be enough curious people going to pop in and be something for me to talk about in there all the time. Yeah, I got 13 right now, Dreamer. But for a while there, up until just a few minutes ago, I had 10, and that's all I had. But I mean, I've gotten back 100 of the subs that I lost during the year. I've gotten half back what I lost. I left when I left last year in January. I think that was the last time I did a live, January or February of 22. And I didn't come back until just before Christmas. So, and I didn't do a live until New Year, after the New Year. So around in that year's time, I lost 200 subs. And of course, my watch hours dropped below 4,000 in the last 365 days, obviously. So it got demonetized. So that's what I really need to do is I've got my subs up. They stayed up at I was down to 1,500. I had 1,700 when I left. I was down to 1,500 when I came back. I'm now above 1,600. So I've gotten a lot of the subs back. It's just getting those watch hours, getting those 4,000 watch hours takes forever. But I've been paying attention to my analytics on my end of my lives. When you end your live and it pops up and shows you, max concurrent viewers, um, peak concurrent, and total number of views, average view length, and how many watch hours you got, and your chat rate, which I don't know. That's a new thing. I don't even know what the chat rate is. I guess that means how quickly chat was moving, because my chat rate is always pretty slow. It's like two to four. Which I'm glad, because I couldn't be able to keep up if it was just constantly boom, 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 boom. But yeah, on average, for most lives that I've been doing lately since I came back, um, my peak concurrent, my highest peak concurrent has been 24 at one time. And that was my last live, actually. And I think the most watch hours I've gotten in one live since I've been back was like 50. When before I left, I was getting like 100 per live. I was getting 100 watch hours every live. So losing those 200 subs really kind of hurt things, because they were probably the 200 people that watched me the most. Yeah, not everyone knows yet, I don't think. I mean, most do. Of course, I haven't been in one of Mrs. Coffee's lives in a while, so I need to pop back in there. I keep saying that every single week. I need to pop in and see Mrs. Coffee sometime on one of her lives, and I don't do it. And I've got an awful lot of new people that didn't know about me before that do now. So um, YouTube doesn't take that huge of a cut, as big as you think they do, as far as regular monetization goes off your ads. What they take a cut of is your super chats. YouTube keeps like 40% of your super chat. Like if you sent me $100, I'd get like, I'd only get 60 of it. um, yeah, sure. I don't do Twitch that much, but I don't quite understand Twitch. Hello, the diamond painting boy. How are you? Oh, it's Caden. What are you doing, man? Oh Lord. I was about to ask you if you was old enough to be on YouTube. Well, it is, but it's not, Dreamer. I mean, okay, think about it like this. They are providing you a place for free to upload videos and to make money off of. So, basically, you got to pay your rent somehow. you know, and that's where they take a cut of the super chat money. And now they have that thing where you can, it's like a super chat, but for the comments in the video of an uploaded video, you can actually send a super thanks or something like that, or a super like, or whatever they call it. I don't know. And you can basically donate money to the channel through a comment now, like you do in a super chat. And they take a percentage of that. It's like 40%. But, I look at it as, that's paying my rent. If I'm making money off of this channel, then they're providing me a place to do so. So the only overhead I have, other than camera equipment and whatever I use in my videos to film with, I don't have any hardly. So I don't mind paying them a few bucks out of every super chat. I mean, I never made a ton when it was monetized. I think the most I made was like, they'll pay out once it gets to $100, and I think the most I made in 1 month was like $120. So it's not like I was, able to live off what I was making, but it was an extra $120 a month that I could use for bills or keep things going around here, or buy another diamond painting with. I don't know. Is the sound here? Hello? Hey, Bella the Beast. Hey, Odd. Yeah, okay. Your sound is fine. It's just you, Dreamer. Oh, this confetti is horrible. This is why I didn't want to work in this section down here. I've been putting off this section for a long time because I know this water area down here is all confetti. On this painting, it ain't nowhere odd. But some areas are worse than others. This is that Royal Diamond painting, 165 by 100 and 100 colors. So, yeah, 100 colors, it's just a lot of confetti because it's all so well shaded. But see, down here is all the reflections of this up here. I think when I do the 24-hour live, though, I'm going to work on a different painting. I'm going to pull one out that I think I can actually finish in 24 hours. A straight diamond painting. I think that'd be kind of cool. Kit up and finish it all in one shot. Oh, no, Bella, I'm still here. I'm watching one of the NASCAR. I know him for a couple years now. And David, oh, okay, cool. Oh, the hauler drivers. Yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me about him. Hello, Christy. Am I halfway through yet, Bella? No. When I was telling everybody earlier, when I finish this section here, like this and these 3 sections here, I will be 1/4 of the way done. This thing is 100 wide from here all the way over to way over there somewhere. And this is a 40 section tall, and this is the second half of the bottom 100. So being 165, 40 is, well, actually like 41 would be like 1/4. So 1 more centimeter up here would be 1/4. And I ain't clapping my hands, Christy. Blow everybody's eardrums out in here if I did that. Adi says, be right back. Okay. Oh, my phone battery died, and I had the slot machine going on it. And I just won a jackpot. Damn. I'm now well above 1 quadrillion. Okay, Bella. Have a good night. See you next weekend. I can tell, Christy. I can tell you're in a good mood. Happy Christy is always the better version. I'm telling you. I've seen the angry, I've seen the mad, I've seen the sad, I've seen. Yeah, you know, if I had to answer that as many times as I get asked, Caden, yeah. But, I mean, not everybody hears the first explanation because they're not here yet. And so, you know. I remember there was a radio host. He passed away in 2018. I used to listen to him every night. He came on at 8 p.m. or came on at like 11 p.m. Central Time at night and was on until 4 o'clock in the morning. And I worked overnight security guard, so I'd be able to sit in my car and listen to him all night. Then when I became a truck driver, I could tune him in pretty much anywhere in the country. I could tune in this one radio station, 1040 a.m. or 1100 a.m. I think it was out of Cleveland. And it didn't matter where in the country I was, I could pick up 1100 a.m. at night because they were just that powerful. And I could listen to Art Bell. And I miss Art Bell so much. But I just did find the Ultimate Art Bell archive, and I downloaded it. It's got like 1,200 episodes. And I can sit and listen to all the old Art Bell episodes. And he used to do that. Like, he would come on and he would start to show off by like talking about what's going on in his world, maybe talking about some of the current news things and how he felt about them and that kind of thing. And then he would have his guest on for the remainder of the next, 2-3 hours. He'd talk to a guest, and all of his show was like paranormal stuff and ghosts and Men in Black and Area 51 and Bigfoot and Yetis and Chupacabra and crop circles, UFOs, aliens, that kind of thing. His whole show was about all of that. It was like a conspiracy theory show, like HARP and chemtrails and everything. And he always had some kind of guest on there. And then he had he'd open up the lines and have callers call in, and, all the weird ass people calling in, like, yeah, I'm the Antichrist and you're going to die next week, Art, and I'm going to take over the world. And, just crazy late night weirdos. And I am vaping on, I can't remember what I've got in there. I've either got this one, which is lemon meringue pie, or this one, which is just Why So cereal. So it's just Fruit Loops in milk. I don't remember which one's in there. I think right now I've got the lemon in there. But Art used to start the show off just talking about, maybe he had a story of he always had stray cats. He lived in Pahrump, Nevada, and he always had stray cats, and he'd always get under his house and he'd try to catch them and take them in and adopt them. And so he always had some kind of story like about a cat that he's been trying to catch, or he story about his wife and him went on a trip that week or something somewhere. And he always told that story early on in the broadcast, then went to, his guest and his topic for the night. And then at 1:00 in the morning, he would rehash the stuff from like 1:00 or like at the very start of the show. So that way the people that tuned in late, because there was always like some of the stations didn't start carrying his show until he was already like 2-3 hours into it. So, for those latecomers, he would rehash the whole beginning segment again. So I kind of feel like I do that here when I'm doing a live over 3 hours. Like I'll explain something at the beginning and talk about it and discuss it. And then, there's going to be somebody that came in after that and they're going to ask the same question. So I rehash it again. And I used to do that like once an hour, But I do miss Art Bell. He was so much fun to listen to. I mean, you could tell half of the stuff that he talked about, some of it really intrigued him and he thought, it made you think about it and it even made him think about it. But half of it, you could tell that he was just playing along with it and he knew it was BS from the beginning, but he played along with it because it just made for great radio. And if you have podcasts and you want to see who I'm talking about, there is on podcasts, especially on Google Podcasts, and I know it's on Apple. It's on Apple Podcasts. Is a podcast or a show called the Art Bell Tape Vault. That's where you can listen to a lot of episodes there. But I downloaded the Ultimate Art Bell Archive, which was like 1,200 episodes. Hello, Connie. And I think back when I was a truck driver, I actually called into Art Bell's show once. Can't remember what they were talking about. Ghosts or something. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. It was back in the early 2000s. But I listened to him when I was in college and I was working as a security guard late overnight. Just having that familiar voice on the radio every night to listen to. The bug killing life is great. I am just killing bugs and rats. So, speaking of, I had this lady, okay. So, I had a call for initial rodent control, which means it was our first visit to her house. And it said to take 2 rat boxes out with me. So I took 2 with me. And we got these, like, they're big rat boxes. They're like that wide and like, about 6-8 inches tall. They got a big hole on each side, and rats can go in, they can eat the bait, they can leave, and then they eventually go off and die somewhere because the bait is like an anticoagulant. And so I get to her house, and it's this like older lady, probably in her 70s. And she is just beside herself, freaking out. She takes me all through her house and shows me, well, look right down here. That's where they ate my carpet. And that's where they're eating my carpet. I can hear them running around in the ceiling. Sure enough, I'm saying to her, I can hear this thing running around in the ceiling. And I'm like, that ain't no mouse. Oh, no. Ashley. Ugh. No, it was a rat. She had a rat, a big rat, like body was that long, tail, really long. It's a nice sized rat. But you could hear it running around in the ceiling. She lived in a trailer, a single wide, and you could hear it running around in the ceiling up there. And it was like, oh, this ain't good. So I'm in her kitchen and she opens up her cabinets, and this thing had done climbed down in her cabinet. And of course, besides pooping everywhere, it chewed through a bottle of ibuprofen and ate the ibuprofen. Um, it was getting all in her cabinets. You could see the nesting material coming out of the crown molding over top of her cabinets. Like her cabinets didn't go all the way to the ceiling, so they put crown molding up around the top of the cabinets to block off that empty space up there. And you could see the nesting material coming out from above the crown molding where this thing was nesting up in above the cabinets. And so I'm like, okay, well, the only thing I'm allowed to do, I can't bring rat boxes or mouse boxes into the house because it's just not allowed by law for me to do that. I have to leave them outside at the entry points. I said, so that's all I can really do for you. I said, I can put you some like sticky glue traps down here on the floor. And there was one, her china cabinet drawer was just full of poop everywhere. So I stuck a sticky trap in there, and I stuck one up in the, somewhere else. I put them around several different places where I thought maybe this rat was going to go. And I left. And she called me the next day, because I always leave my business card. I got my company phone. She calls me the next day. She goes, Mr. David. I'm like, what? She says, I looked in that drawer where you put that sticky trap, and it's gone. This thing done stole the sticky trap. And I thought, oh, no. I don't know what to do. So I had told her, I said, tell you what to do. I said, can you call the company and have them issue a follow-up? I said, I'll come back out and I'll see what's going on. So the day the follow-up came through, and I was at the office that morning talking to my boss, and I said, hey, I said, I said, let's just wait and see if it pops back up or whatever. So then she calls me back again about a week and a half later, and she's like, Mr. David. That's the way she says it. Mr. David, she's in tears, this poor woman. She said, he's still there. And you can hear him up there. And he done chewed through the bottom of my china cabinet. And he won't go away. And they're still eating my carpet. And I'm like, all right, well, call the company, put a call back in. I'll come back out, take a look. So the next day, they scheduled it for the next day. I was at the office the next morning, and I was talking to my boss. I'm like, look, Tony, I don't know what to do. I said, I done put 2 rat boxes out for this lady. And I said, and obviously they're not going outside because they got everything they need inside. So they're not going back outside for food or anything. I said, I can't put the rat boxes in the house. What am I supposed to do? He said, have you tried T-Rex traps? And I'm like, no, what's a T-Rex trap? A T-Rex trap is about the size of my mouse. Okay. It's rounded on one end like this. On the back end, it looks like like a woman's hair clip where you can squeeze the 2 parts together and it opens the clip up like that. So it looks like that. On the bottom is a little cup you can screw off. And it's just like a little cup, maybe no bigger than my little thing here, my vape top. And you pull that off, and he hands me this little syringe thing of like some kind of gooey bait. He says, this is bacon bait. He said, put that in that little cup, put the cup back on, squeeze the hair clip part on the back, squeeze the handles together until it clicks. He said, the trap is set. He said, from that point forward, do not get your fingers anywhere near it, because this trap has like little, like serrated edges all the way around the top and the bottom. So when it snaps shut, he said, here, I'll show you. And he stuck his pen in there and touched the little tongue that was in there. And when he did, that thing snapped shut, jumped off the floor about 7 inches, and yanked his pen out of his hand. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get my fingers in that. So that's what I told her. I said, I put 3 of them out, and I said, maybe this will do it. We had to pull her fridge out, put one back behind the fridge, because when I got there, you could hear him back there. When we pulled the fridge out, sure enough, he was back behind the fridge, but he got out before we could get to him. So stuck one down behind the fridge. We pushed the fridge back up against it, kind of to keep it, out of the way. And I put one down beside her china cabinet and whatever. I left, and an hour later, she calls me back up, and that's the happiest old woman I ever heard in my life. She goes, Mr. David, we got one. I was like, now I understand why I do this job, because that felt so good. Just knowing I took that old woman and took her from tears to elation in like an hour's time. Yeah, she is the sweetest old lady. She really is. Her husband just passed away. Like they had just bought that. It was actually a double wide. They had just bought that house in 2020, and he died in 2021. And she's living there all by herself and just doesn't know what to do. I mean, she's just lost, I think, without him. Oh yeah, there'll be more, and that's what I showed her how to reset the trap. And she's got a son that comes by there all the time, so she said, you know, if we catch one, I'll get rid of the rat, and then I'll have my son reset it when he comes after work. I'm like, okay. So I showed her how to do it and taught her how to get it set and everything. And so she's hopefully going to catch some more. By the time I go out there again, I won't have to worry about it because all the ones in the house will be dead, and then the ones outside won't get in because they'll go to that bait that's outside before they come in the house. Yeah, it is. It's really nice. It made me realize that I'm actually helping people. I don't really ever kind of feel that way until something like that. Um, I mean, you go to some of these houses and it's, you know, it says initial pest control and it says target roaches. You just don't know what to expect when you walk in on those. But, you know, you walk in and you can tell that the customer is just grossed out. It's like they have got roaches upon roaches upon roaches in these places. And I've got to spend an hour and a half in there baiting roaches with this stuff that looks like peanut butter in a syringe. And and I've got to be in with the roaches, you know, like climbing in the cabinet and the roaches are crawling on me, and then you feel like there's something crawling on you the rest of the day. Oh, that's the worst feeling ever. Oh, I'm good, Annie. How are you? Roaches are actually, yes, Sherry. We've got scorpions here too. I went to a house the other day. The guy took me downstairs in his basement, and I said, well, "Have you had any problems since the last time we've been out to spray?" He says, "Yeah, scorpions." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He takes me down in the basement. He opens up this little closet door where the hot water heater is, and there was like 20 dead scorpions in there on the floor. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But Dreamer, how do you get rid of roaches? Easy. You call the exterminator. But what do I do to get rid of them? I've got this stuff called Advion cockroach. It's called Vendetta. Advion Vendetta. I think that's the name of it. No, Advion makes a cockroach bait, and then Vendetta is MGK is the name of the company. Um, but Vendetta, it comes in a syringe about that long, and it's got like a little needle tip on it that you can put on that get little fine spots, and you figure out where the roaches are mostly going and where they're coming and going from and that kind of thing. And you just put little dots of this stuff. It looks like gooey peanut butter. And you just squirt it like in the hidden spots, like when you open the cabinet door, back behind the back there, along that up and down area, you kind of put a dot every foot of this bait. And then if it's really bad, you even take your edges, you take your like edges of your cabinets and stuff where they're living, and you just kind of almost caulk the corners with it a little bit. Um, and the roaches will eat that. And then they'll take it back to the nest and they'll infect the rest of the nest too. So it takes out all the roaches off just a little bit of bait. But it takes 2 or 3 treatments, one treatment a month for 2 or 3 months to really get rid of them. It's not as likely, Annie. It really isn't as likely, but yes, they do exist up that way. They do prefer moist, warm areas. Like I tell customers, if you have roaches and we're trying to get rid of them, go outside and rake the leaves away from the edge of your house because they live in those leaf piles and in leaf litter and mulch. That's where roaches, they love to live, and that's like paradise for them because it holds moisture. Um, they can get underneath that mulch and underneath of those leaves and stuff, and they can stay warmer. Um, Granted, in the wintertime, you get all that snow, but that's when they come inside for the winter. And that's when you get infested on the inside. So they do exist up there, just not as plentiful as they are down here. Yeah, I didn't know there were any scorpions in Alabama. I did not know that at all. Um, and Amber and I were out one time hiking and rock hounding, and I took my rock hammer with me, and it was this little where we were at. We kind of walked up this trail, and just off the side of the trail was like a little tiny rock face, about 5 feet high, and just kind of pointed and sticking out. And I was like, well, let me see something. And I chipped at it with the rock hammer, and it chipped the front of that rock face off a little bit. And behind that rock, where it split off of there was a scorpion in there, living in the crack in the crevice in the rock, and it uncovered him. And I was just surprised. I'm like, I didn't know we had scorpions in Alabama. But they're all tiny. I mean, I thought scorpions were bigger. No, they're like that big. They're tiny little things. Oh, they won't hurt you, Odd. I was up there close to it looking at it. They won't hurt you unless you get your finger near that stinger, and then they they can sting. But most scorpions, it's not much worse than a bee sting. Like the feeling of it. They it won't really do much more damage unless you're allergic to them. Um, they won't do any more damage than a bee sting. Um, but still, I don't want to get stung. It's not something that I prefer to have happen on a regular basis, anyway. But most of them are only like that big. I mean, they're tiny little things. I thought scorpions were like big like crawfish. I had always thought they were big like crawfish. They're just tiny little bitty things. Yeah, the ones we have here in Alabama don't have potent poison. It's the ones like um, that are out west in like Arizona and stuff. Dreamer says, I was driving today and saw a wild turkey. Those are so cool. We're so overrun with them down here. One of my customers has one as a pet. It just kind of wandered onto her property, and it just kind of took up residence there with her chickens. And the damn thing acts like a dog. Like you pull up in the yard, if you're a stranger and you pull up in the yard, it gobbles at you. It was so odd, and it will keep gobbling until she acknowledges it. That okay, yeah, I know there's somebody here, and it'll stop, and it'll follow her around like a dog. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I actually got some video of it one day. I was like, this is hilarious. She's got a watch turkey. If you must get stung by bigger, darker ones with big pinchers. Huh. See, ours here are kind of clearish looking, and they're smaller, but the way we were taught in classes, the ones that are down here in the southeast aren't really dangerous at all. I mean, they'll sting you and it'll hurt a little bit, but it won't be much worse than a bee sting. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that at all. I won't even do it if she says so, because that's kind of my job thing. I can't, because I did it when I was on the job. I can't post it. But yeah, I got video of it when I pulled up there and I was trying to get stuff in my truck ready to spray her house. That turkey was just solid at me until she walked over and said something to it, and it stopped. And then she went and got it some food, and it followed her to the place where she put the food down, and the turkey sat there and ate. But yeah, they have some out in Arizona. I can't remember the name of it, but when we were in class, we were learning about it. And that particular one they said is out in Arizona because we do have offices. Our company has offices in Arizona. So it was more for them to let them know that, hey, you have one in your area that can really seriously do some damage to you. So try to steer clear of those. But the spray that we use in the house is good for roaches, ants, spiders, and scorpions. So Onslaught is the best stuff ever for spiders and scorpions. But spiders and scorpions are very close cousins. They're both arachnids. But yeah, when I walked down in that man's house and he opened up that hot water heater closet and I saw them like 20 dead scorpions in the floor, I was like, oh my Lord, let me not like stick my head in here because I don't know if there's still a live one in here somewhere. Never been stung by a scorpion and I don't want to start today. Last time I got stung was by a bee I was hiking up in the Smokies, and the shelter we stopped at, the Far Out app had told us that there was a shelter there, but one of the last people that had stayed in it left a comment and said, watch out for the bees. And we got there, and sure enough, well, we only stopped there to eat lunch. We didn't even stop there to spend the night. We just stopped there to eat lunch. And I took my pack off, and these bees were flying around, and I think one of them flew down the back of my shirt. Well, I felt something crawling, and I went to go scratch, and when I did, I think I squished him a little bit against my back, and he stung me in the middle of my back. And to be honest with you, it was just a honeybee, so it wasn't like a bad sting, and I'm not allergic, so it kind of heated up for a few minutes, like it was like warm, like I could feel it burning a little bit on my back. And then about 10 minutes later, it was like it was nothing to it. It's like, oh, that's right, I forgot. Honeybees aren't that bad. It's the red wasps you got to worry about. I don't mess with red wasps. I steer very clear of those because one of them come down and got me on the side of my eye one day, years ago, and my whole eye swelled shut. It looked like I had a black eye without the bruising. It was just puffy and swelled shut. And that hurt. Wasps ain't no joke. Oh yeah, we got yellow jackets, we got hornets. Ground hornets are the worst because, like, you could step on a ground hornet nest and not even realize you had until they all come out of there after you. In fact, I just sprayed one the other day. A customer had them and didn't even know they had a ground hornet's nest. Like, I found it. And while I was out doing the outside of the house, spraying around the outside of the house, I found the hornet's nest. I saw the hornet fly down and walked into the hole in the ground. And then I saw 2 or 3 of them come flying out of that same hole. And I was like, oh, yeah, stuck the nozzle of my backpack sprayer down in there. And I sprayed 4 gallons down in the ground. I'm like, die. Hornets are scary because they don't die when they sting you. See, for a bee to sting you, you've got to be doing something really bad because a bee dies. It actually kills itself to sting you. So it sacrifices itself for the safety of the colony, or the safety of the hive. And the same thing goes with wasps. Wasps can only sting once and they die. So, they're real particular about who they sting. But hornets, the stinger doesn't come out. they can continue using it over and over and over again right away. And 2 or 3 hornets can light you up. We don't have those here, Ashley. We don't have they call them cow killers. They're like big red and black fuzzy things. No, we don't have those here. Here is all fire ants and giant fire ant mounds all over people's yards. In fact, we have fire ant service. Our company actually offers a fire ant service. $50 a month. We come out and kill all your fire ants. Of course, we're not going to kill them all. We're going to reduce the numbers quite a bit to keep them under control, but you're never going to kill them all. I would imagine so, Annie. I steer clear of wasps and hornets. I don't know. I don't mess with them things. But my job is always involving, part of my job is when I do the outside of a house, I have to spray the perimeter of the house. The foundation, 3 feet up the side of the house and 3 feet out on the ground, all the way around the house. Well, a lot of these houses have an awful lot of wasp nests up in the eaves, in the corner of the eaves and the soffit and stuff, and they live up in there. And part of my job after I do the outside is I have to go along with this long, extendable, looks like almost like a duster is what it looks like. It looks like one of them koosh balls. It's got the long fuzzy fingers on the end, but it's on the end of a long telescope handle. And I can unfold that thing about 7 feet, 8 feet long, if not longer, maybe even 10 feet. And I've got to go along and I've got to brush all the cobwebs and wasp nests off of the eaves of the house. And man, when you hit one of them wasp nests that's got wasps on it, they come after you. Yeah, I've seen the guy that uses the vacuums. I'd prefer not to keep them alive in a vacuum. I would prefer to just drown them in chemicals and watch them all die. So. And I do the same thing with fire ant nests. Like, we have a bait we can use for fire ants, because see, fire ants and the ants you see inside your house, like the regular nuisance ants that are inside your house, are mostly sweet eaters. They eat sweets. But fire ants are meat eaters. They need protein to live. And so they require a different bait than the regular nuisance ants that we deal with. And we don't carry that bait in our truck. Like, if we have a fire ant service that day when we leave the office, we are supposed to grab some and take with us. But I do have some stuff in my truck that's what you do is you douse the nest down first. You have to have a high pressure enough sprayer so that it breaks through the surface of the hill. And then you just drown the hill with this high pressure sprayer. And you can see them. If you disturb a fire ant's nest, it's funny. Like, you take your foot and you kick the top of it off, you can see the little larva in there. And the larva is what keeps the nest alive, because they all eat the larva poop. So they go get food, bring it back, feed it to the larva poops, and then they eat the poop. And that's how ants live. So if you can kill the larva, you can kill the nest. But you really want to get the queen. So the way to do that is you douse this whole thing down. You make sure you've got enough pressure in your pressure sprayer, your backpack sprayer, to be able to break through the top of the mound. And then when you do that, then you just start spraying all the liquid down in there. And then I've got this granular bait that I take on top of that, and I lay down on top of it. And that soaks down into the soil. And that's what ends up killing the nest. But the problem is fire ants, like, if one of them escapes that, she can go become a queen. And all ants that you see, it doesn't matter what kind of ant it is, every ant that you see out running around is a female. The males mate with the queen and die. That's all they do. They're born, they mate with the queen, they die. So all the other ants you ever see are all females. So one female can escape that nest and go somewhere else and start her own little nest. And then you'll have another fire ant mound in no time. I usually just watch him thinking you chose this way. Yeah. Well, the thing is a lot of these guys that you see on YouTube are trying to show you how to do it in a humane fashion. Like, why do you care about being humane to a bug? Especially a bug that can hurt you. I'm not worried about humane. I'm worried about kill them. It's not like a raccoon we're trying to relocate here, you know. Now, I understand honeybees, okay? I understand trying to not kill the honeybees. In fact, it is illegal for me to spray blooming plants that are actively blooming. It is illegal by law for me to spray them because it can kill the pollinators, the honeybees. Hello, Denise. Males have such short lives in the insect world. They do. They do. Except in the termite world. In the termite world, they can actually go through the larva and the pupa stage, and then they become either a worker or a soldier. If they become a soldier, then that's all they'll ever do the rest of their life. But if they become a worker, then when the nest needs realignment, the queen can send out the signal, the pheromone, that tells all of the workers to turn into soldiers. So then they go back into the pupa stage and then come back out as a soldier, at which point then that's their end stage of life is soldier. But termites are like really neat. When I went through class for all of this, for this job, I was just fascinated. It was fascinating to me to learn how insects live and work, and it was amazing. Did you know that that the queen termite can live up to 30 years? 30 years, a bug that can live 30 years. And in her lifetime will normally lay anywhere between 10 to 15 million eggs. Yeah, I've watched her. She does a lot on TikTok too. Yeah, the queen of a termite nest can live 30 years. And she'll lay in her lifetime 10 to 15 million eggs. Because that's all she does. That's all she does is lay eggs all day long. And same thing with the queen ant. Queen ant can live something like 15 or 20 years if you don't kill her. And that's all she does all day long is mate with males and lay eggs. Mate with males and lay eggs. And the males will go off and die somewhere. Their job is done. In this case, in termites' case, though, the same male can mate with the queen multiple times over. Royalty's not worth it. Oh, Denise, you missed my rat story about the old lady and her house rat that was living in her kitchen cabinets. Left it in front of your bedroom door. Oh, well, we had a cat in Tennessee when my ex-wife and I were together, and the cat would bring my wife presents in the middle of the night, like literally come right up and stand on her chest and wake her up with a mouse in its mouth. Hello, Terry. Yeah, Denise, I'm making progress here, slowly but surely. Ooh, there's a bug right there. Killed him. But yeah, this woman had a full size rat living, or maybe even several of them living above her cabinets in the crown molding, and they were eating into her cabinets and eating her medicines. Yeah, that was an interesting time there. I actually saw it. Like the first time I went in her house, I leaned back on her counter, and in between her cabinets is a little gap about like that wide. And I was able to lean back and look, shine my flashlight up through that gap, and one of them went across the top of the cabinet while I was leaning back looking up through that gap, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you got a rat there." Oh, when I was little, I had a dog. His name was Moose. He was just a hound mix. He was like, a mix of a couple different kinds of hounds. And my mom wouldn't let him come in the house because she was allergic to dogs and cats. So he had to live outside, and we let him run loose in the neighborhood because we lived out in the country. And there's only like 3 houses in our neighborhood, and none of them even cared really. And so this dog constantly would go down to this like little. We had an irrigation ditch that surrounded my grandfather's property around. It was a cow pasture because the neighboring dairy farm actually brought his heifers over in that pasture every summer and let them stay out there all summer. And so there was a old railroad tracks that went by my house, and down at the railroad tracks where the railroad tracks met the irrigation ditch, there was like a little ending of the ditch, and it was like a little water hole down there, and there was a lot of muskrat. And my dog would go down there and catch muskrat, and then bring dead muskrats up and leave them laying on our porch step. Of course, it was my dog, so my mom was always go out there and get that thing he left in our. Here goes Dave out there with the snow shovel. Snow shovels work really well for other things in the summertime. Go out there with the snow shovel and pick up the dead muskrat and go throw it in the ditch. It was like 5 acres away from the house, so we didn't have to smell it when it started smelling. A couple times he brought one back. Well, see, that's a good thing. That's actually a very good thing. If your dogs are rodent killers, that's what rat terriers are anyway. Most terriers are rodent hunters anyway. That's what they're bred for. Because that dog we had here for a while, Bella, was part rat terrier. And when she'd get outside, that's what she would do. She'd be sniffing. And you'd always find her sniffing around the areas where like rats would be. It's just in their natural instinct. Cats are useless. Yeah, so are mine. Ain't that right, Hank? Hank. Hey. Yep, he's useless. He ain't even paying no attention to me. Yeah, Yorkies are. They still have that tendency. That's just part of their natural instinct. It never goes away. It's just part of that's part of who they are. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. I know. I know how you feel. Hmm. That is a me hair. Oh yeah, Adi, I didn't tell you. This is actually the third time I've started on this painting. He's up there sleeping in the cat tree, Ash or Christy. He ain't even paying me no mind. I just called him a few minutes ago. He didn't even perk his ears up. He just laid there asleep. Hank. Hank. Damn, he ain't paying me no mind at all. He is out. Yeah, this is the third time starting on this. Well, you were still around, I think, when Amber and I were still together and we were working on this. I had a section done over here that was like 25 by 25 done here, like that much from up to there and down here. So I had a 25 by 25 section done here, and then we had like a 20 centimeter section done all the way across, and then another 25 by 25 on the other corner. Had all of that done, and I was sat down to work on it again right before Christmas, and drills were popping off of this thing like crazy. Well, see, I had originally bought it and started it back in 2020, February 2020, and I'd started on it, and the drills were gapping so bad. I mean, there was huge gaps in between every drill, and I took pictures of it and I texted them to Haley, and I was like, "There's something wrong with this." Um, she messaged back that she got with the factory and found out it was a misprint on the canvas, so they replaced the entire kit. So then, of course, Amber and I started on it, got a lot done on the whole bottom section down here, and I pulled it back out again this past Christmas, and popping drills everywhere. So I messaged Haley again. I'm like, I understand it's 3 years since I bought this thing. So I know if you don't do nothing, I understand. But I really would like to salvage it, but I'm finding popping drills everywhere. And she goes, well, yeah, that's why we stopped using that supplier. We don't even offer that painting anymore. But I can refill the order of drills for you and replace all the drills in the kit. So she replaced all of the drills, and I finally got those in February. And this is what I've gotten done since February. Yes, I am. I'm completely blown away by her customer service. I'm so sad that they had to stop doing, pre-printed pictures and stuff. Um, they were doing them up until about a month ago, and a month ago they announced that they're going to stop doing diamond paintings like they had been, but she's still open for customs, max color customs. So I may end up getting a custom from her at some point, but I'm kind of sad because I mean her customer service was beyond what it should have been. I actually had her come in here into the chat one night just so that she could hear the praise from the customer service about how good she was. But I had to strip all of that off, all of those diamonds I had on this whole thing off, and restart from scratch again in February. So this is the third shot so far. Not too bad. I do have a popping drill every now and then, like because it takes up my whole desk, and so I have to use it as a mouse pad too. And sometimes my finger will catch on one and pull it off or whatever. But have I finished Hank's costume? Oh, Hank custom? No. No. Yeah, it's just regular double-sided adhesive. Now, there was some parts, like especially on the corners, where some of the adhesive did come off, but I always keep a roll of this adhesive here. It's like I have a 1 centimeter and a 5 centimeter roll of it. So I was able to just lay some new adhesive down on top and just keep on going. Kitty fur is horrible confetti. Hold on. Let me go grab it. Maybe you'll be able to catch the whole thing in there. There he is. I love my sparkly Hank. You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I still have this one. Hi, Aria. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. There you go. Hi. Hi. Hey, Munchkin. Oh, you stepped into sticky stuff, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I have made a lot of progress on Hank Custom. I just have to put it away because it is so much confetti. Okay. Bye. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I've got to get a good picture of her first. I don't have a good picture. She will not sit still for pictures. Hank will, but Aria will not. I do have one cute one where she was in the top of the cat tree and she just had her head sticking over the edge and looking at me. And that's a really cute picture. Let me see if I can find that. I gotta wait. My phone battery died, so I have to restart my phone or let it start. There it is. That's kind of a cute one of her. That's the only time I can get her to be still for a picture. And then I also got this one. I mean, the camera is kind of washing out the brightness, but he is very clearly visible. Hello, Nana. Yeah, I could do that. And I could actually crop that picture down some to get rid of a lot of that background and just include her in the top of the cat tree and just have her little head sticking over the top. That would be that would actually would be a cute custom. And I might just do that because there's a couple of places I want to try out. You need to see the Hank, like the actual Hank. The actual Hank is asleep in his cat tree and is not paying me no mind. Hank. Yeah. I hear you moaning and groaning like an old man up here. Come here. I hear you. I hear you. Oh, get up. Come on. Lazy ass. Nope. Really? Hi, Hank. Now you're just going to sit right there in my way. He's like, well, you woke me up and made me come over here. So, yeah, I'm going to get in your face. That's what he's doing, too. He's sitting in the exact same spot that he's sitting in that picture, staring at me. That's his spot now. Like when he wants attention, that's where he does. He jumps right in that spot and just sits there and stares at me. Because he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Most of the time. When you're not under my desk getting your claw stuck in my sock or biting my kneecaps. That's what he does now when he wants attention. He gets under my desk and then claws at my sock and hooks a claw in my sock and won't let go. Or he'll sit on the floor in front of where I'm sitting and bite just below my kneecap. That little loose spot of skin right below your kneecap. He'll start biting that. Boy, your breath stink. You've been eating rotten cat food. That's what your breath smells like, rotten cat food. Now, here's a better picture of the custom I took of the whole thing. Oh, shit. The camera's washing out the color, but yeah. Yep, just had to take a break from it because there's just so much confetti on it. But I'm wanting to get some more customs done and ordered from different places just to try out different places customs. Like I want to try a Dreamer Designs, and I'd love to get a custom from Royal with Max Colors. Yeah, Christy, it looks even better in person. It really does. I'm blown away with it. Like, I remember when I got it, I was like flipping out because I thought all the little orange or like salmon pink colored spots on his fur looked like he was bleeding. But now that the rest of it is done around it, it actually looks really good. I think I'm done with that color. I'm done with that color until I put it away and then I find another symbol for it. It's the way it always works. I don't think I have any of this color. It's hard to see it. Nope, I do not have any of that color. Oh, cool. I have to go look at that. I haven't been on Facebook a lot today. I got up this morning, didn't have any internet because right now I haven't had the money to pay the bill in the past month and a half, so they've got me cut off on the internet. But the way AT&T works is really weird. I have NordVPN. So when my computer fires up, it doesn't have any signal at all. Like it says no internet. But then as soon as Nord opens up, it connects to the server like it's supposed to, and then I have internet through Nord. So it's really weird how that works. So it works like that with any VPN. Well, my Nord subscription ran out yesterday. And it's like 90 they don't let you pay like a monthly fee. You have to pay a yearly fee. And it's like 99 a year. So I don't have the money to pay that right now until I get paid. And then even when I get paid, I probably don't have the money to pay for that. So I went and downloaded a free VPN and it works just the same way Nord does. For whatever reason, VPNs bypass the blocked internet on the AT&T box down here. So I didn't have any internet this morning, so I didn't get to do a whole lot. And then I woke up, I got moving around, and I was working on some special things for the channel that I'll be announcing soon to go along with my 4th anniversary on YouTube. And then I watched the race. And then when that was over, I went live. Well, I went and grabbed some Wendy's. I grabbed a $5 biggie bag that they didn't even get the damn order right on that. So I go up to Wendy's. Actually, I got the $6 biggie bag, not the $5, because the $6 had the double stacked bacon, right? So I told him I want the double stacked bacon biggie bag. And she charged me for the double stacked bacon biggie bag, which is $6 instead of $5. I pull up to the window, and they've got the drive-through window open. The girl taking my money is standing there dancing while she's taking my money or taking my card, and she's rapping along with some rap music they got playing in there. And there's like 4 girls all in there, and they all dancing and rapping. And she hands me my food, and I'm like, "Have a great day." I leave. I come home, and they gave me the regular burger that goes in the $5 biggie bag, and I was mad. I'm like, I ain't going all the way back up to Wendy's to complain about this. But I tell you, I could not own a fast food place here in town. If I did, I'd fire every last damn one of them people working in there. and I'd hire my own crew. I could not manage a fast food place here because I would shut the doors of the place, fire every person that worked in there, and start a whole fresh new crew, and then reopen the doors. Because these people here are more worried about socializing and dancing and singing and whatever else is they doing in there than they are with their job and making sure they do their job right. Yeah, and they want $15 an hour. Yeah, I should have, Odd. I really should have, but you know, I figured how in the world can they screw up a $6 biggie bag? Go figure. Yeah, they want $15 an hour because they say, and that's why they act like fools at work and don't pay no attention and don't do the job, is because they say, "Well, I don't make enough to do all that." I'm sorry, I come from the place where it don't matter how much you making. You accepted this job to do this. Do this, do it well, and you'll get a raise. But if you're like, they don't pay me enough, and then you act like a damn fool at work all day and don't get your work done, you're just going to end up fired. And then they're going to bitch and moan and complain. Yeah, that's the truth, Odd. All you got to do is open up TikTok. You find out real quick how many brain cells are left in the world. It won't be long. Brondo will be taking over everything. It's got electrolytes. It's what the plants crave. Every day, I swear, every day that goes by, I still believe that Idiocracy was a prophetic documentary. It was not a comedy movie. It's not Nana's birthday. It's Dawn Marie's, Dreamer. Are y'all home now, Nana? All right, Christy. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Yeah. I don't even know who I follow on TikTok anymore. But nice. I really don't know. I haven't. It's been a while. I hardly ever open the app. I mean, to be honest with you, I hardly ever even look at TikTok because every time I open it, all I get is just weird people with more hardware in their face telling me how I need to live my life, when obviously they're effing theirs up. Yeah, it's very toxic. But I do spend a lot of time, like I get on YouTube and then I get like lost on YouTube. Like I'll pull up my main page where it shows all of my, subscriptions and other recommendations and stuff. I'll pull that up, but invariably I will end up getting caught up in the damn shorts, the YouTube shorts. Those aren't as toxic as the TikTok ones are. Most of those are pretty funny, especially Rockstar. I love watching him. He's the guy that does all the animal voiceovers, and he's hilarious. I ended up getting lost in YouTube the other day or a week ago or so, and I ended up coming across some guy who like trims cow hoofs, and he relieves like infections on the cow's foot by trimming the cow hoofs. So it's kind of like pimple popping and cow hoof trimming all in one. It's really weird. Oh yeah, I love Rockstar. He is funny. What made him famous originally was the Skibbity Paps video with the cat in the cat tree and was whacking people in the head every time they walked past. And there's another guy, and he's changed his name since then, but it was Big Daddy Leo something or other. And he was a guy that always like he's got like a big screen TV, and I guess he's got YouTube or something on there, and he'll be sitting there like he's watching TV, and he picks up the remote and clicks it, and then it turns towards the TV, and it's always some like raunchy, weird commercial or something, and it's like his facial reactions to it are hilarious. Um, that dude's always really funny. I like watching his stuff. His wife recently had was diagnosed with like meningitis or something. Yeah, those poor cattle. I mean, yeah, their hooves are overgrown and they've gotten an infection. and he goes and starts trimming that thing off, and it just starts pouring stuff out. I don't know how I found it either. It was just kind of going down that YouTube rabbit hole, and that's where I end up. It's like, okay, this is where I'm at now. These are the things YouTube wants me to see. And the rug cleaning. Oh my God, rug cleaning. I never thought I would ever enjoy watching rug cleaning, but it is the most relaxing and satisfying thing I've ever watched in my entire life. Especially the one guy, I think his name is Mountain Rug Cleaning, and his videos are so awesome. Yeah, Denise gets it. That is so much fun to watch. When he runs that squeegee over it and you can just watch all of the nasty dirt coming out. And then when I'm not surfing through and finding all that kind of stuff, it's just I sit on the live streams of Lab Padre and just watch what's going on at SpaceX, and just sitting there chatting with the other. We call ourselves, as a collective, we call ourselves the Nerdle. And we just sit there and constantly speculate about what's going on, because it's just a live cam from like across the road from the launch facility, and so we just sit there and speculate about what we're seeing and what they're doing and what's going to happen. And but in the process of sitting there, I have learned how that launch complex works, how the tank farm works, how they actually fuel the rocket, what to look for when to know that the fuel is actually going into the rocket, and everything. It's really cool because you learn all of this stuff just by sitting there and watching it. Their camera kind of got almost obliterated during the launch because it was uh, about 1,400 feet away from the launch tower, in a attached to the top of a trailblazer. And when that thing launched, it damn near obliterated the camera from that far away. But he got some really cool video of like all of the rocks and concrete flying out of that cloud. At like supersonic speed. Ooh. Hank is just sitting there on top of my computer, so patiently waiting because he knows what time it almost is. It is 10:15. I haven't seen Beth in here tonight. Where is Beth at tonight? Yeah, Denise, I've gotten to, at night now when I go to bed, I actually set my phone up beside the bed and I turn it down low because I actually hook it to my Alexa, and I turn it way down on low and I turn those rug cleaning videos on to go to sleep to at night. I don't get to read much. Like normally what happens is I'll be sitting here at the desk watching YouTube, or I'll be in Zoom and talking and diamond painting, or in Zoom and like surfing the internet while I'm sitting there, and I will fall asleep right here in this chair while I'm in Zoom. And then I'll wake up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and go to bed. There was one night last week. I got off work at 5. I got home, gave the cats their treats, and went to sit down here in the chair to diamond paint, and woke up at 10:30. I was just out. But yeah, I don't get to read much anymore. I do audiobooks or podcasts. And even if you liked the show, I will tell you the one book that will put you to sleep if you listen to it as an audiobook is the Song of Ice and Fire series from the Game of Thrones, the ones that the Game of Thrones are based on. Those books are the most dry books ever. And then there's this guy with like this really calming British accent voice, older guy who narrates the book. And George R.R. Martin, okay, he was a good author. He really is a good writer. But there is so much detail in those books. Like everything is described to the minute detail through those books. That's why there's like 2,000 pages in the damn book. A story that could be written in 150 pages, he's turned into like 2,000 because of describing everything in such minute detail. And then the way he tells the story, he jumps around. Okay. Um, one chapter is through the eyes of this character, and one chapter is through the eyes of that character. And then this chapter is through the eyes of that character. And sometimes these chapters are all taking place in the same time frame as each other, but you're just seeing different events through the eyes of different people. So while this is going on up in Winterfell with Ned Stark, this is going on over in this other land with Daenerys, and this over here is going on with this character over in this part of Westeros. And so it's really hard to keep track of the book as far as the timeline goes. You have to really listen to all those details he talks about in order to gather the fact that this is happening at the same time as the next chapter, or this chapter is happening the same time as the last chapter. It's just through somebody else's eyes in a different part of the world. And it's just, oh, it's so dry. I don't know who Tad Williams is. But see, I'm a big fan of the Left Behind series, so that's kind of always my go-to. Like I have listened to that audiobook series like 5 or 6 times. And I also have the dramatic audio, so it's kind of like listening to what I like about the dramatic audio is they didn't change it from the books. So basically, it's the exact same dialogue from the book, just transposed over into a play form, an audio play on the radio, like it would be broadcast on the radio, like the War of the Worlds was or whatever. And it's all of the books of the Left Behind series done that way. Oh, a sci-fi fantasy writer, cool. You would think with me being like a space nerd and stuff like, I'm just not into sci-fi. I've never been able to get into sci-fi books. I never really liked Star Trek, but I love Star Wars. Um, but Star Trek just seemed, I don't know why, but Star Trek just seemed to be more out there to me than Star Wars was. Star Wars just had some sort of a, I don't know, a realism to it, like this could actually happen type deal, where Star Trek was kind of just a little too far out there for me. And I never really even got into the sci-fi movies. And I guess for me, Star Trek was more of a saga. Or Star Wars was more of a saga. It was a story to follow. Where Star Trek really didn't have a story to follow. It was just a group of people on a spaceship exploring the universe. Oh, okay. Now, see, I can do the fantasy, the dragons and elves and stuff like that, like Lord of the Rings type stuff. See, I like the D&D type fantasy stuff. Like, I used to play D&D a lot when I was in the Navy. We had a D&D group that used to meet like every night. Speaking of D&D, have you ever seen the movie? No, I have not seen the movie. I'd always heard that if you were a fan of actually playing the game D&D, like that you probably wouldn't like the movie because it just wasn't the same. So I never actually watched it. Oh, that was a lot of fun, Denise. It just allowed you to like it allowed you to like for that little bit of time you're sitting around the table with your friends and stuff, you actually took on that character. And you had to think like that character would think, and you had to act the way that character would act. And it just kind of allowed you to escape from reality for a while and go on this big adventure in your mind with this group of friends. The hardest part was remembering all of the okay, I'm going to do this, and then you had to roll this specific dice for this, and you had to roll another dice for that, and trying to remember, okay, I have to roll for contact, and I have to roll for damage, and then I have to roll for initiative to see if like I actually was going to do that. I'd say that's what I want to do, but I have to roll for initiative to see if that's what my character actually would do or actually wanted to. It was a lot of fun. It's been years since I played. Last D&D game I got into was like 1990. I want to say like 1994. Well, I kind of did that for a while too, Denise. But I haven't touched that mess in a while either. Actually, I take that back. I have. Um, Back in the mid 90s, I was about 21 and I got into pot really heavy with some friends. Then I got out of it and I didn't really mess with it again until Amber and I were together and we went up to the vape shop and she thought she was buying some CBD and it turned out to be Delta 8 or Delta 9. And she brought that home and I thought, well, probably won't hurt, calm me a little bit. Like, I thought it was CBD. I hit that damn pen and I sat here for 3 hours just staring at the TV blankly. I was high as a kite. And I'm like, how in the hell can they sell this stuff when weed isn't even legal in Alabama? So that's when I found out that Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 9, and this new THCO are basically just legalized weed. And the only way they can get away with selling it in states where weed is not legal is because it's a derivative of the hemp plant. They're allowed to sell derivatives of the hemp plant. And hemp flowers, which are basically pot buds, are derivatives of the hemp plant. And THC, hemp does still have THC in it, not as much as, marijuana grown for use, but it does have THC in it. And what they do is they extract that THC and make an extract of it and then put it into vape juice and sell it over the counter in vape shops. And you might as well just be hitting a joint because that's as high as you're going to get. Susan's never had that experience. Was that being said with a little hint of sarcasm, Susan? And the way you put that in there. Let's just say when I was 21, I spent many a night as part of my couch. Laughing uncontrollably at the stupidest things. Stuff that wouldn't even be close to being funny when you're sober. Oh, sometimes I miss those days. But I don't have that many brain cells left and I can't afford to kill anymore, so oh wow. It's worth one time. Like it's worth trying one time. You may not like it. You might like it, but you never really know until you've tried. And if you're gonna try anything for that one time try, weed is the thing because you're not gonna get addicted to it. You're not gonna it's not really gonna harm you in any way. You can't overdose on it. And it is a completely different feeling than alcohol. Just a completely different vibe. It's what I really would like to try, and You can call me weird, but I still at one point I want to do it just to say I did, and I want to try shrooms one time. For a while there, I was trying to grow shrooms because Amber and I were going to try microdosing. Me for the ADD and Amber for anxiety and depression. And I was trying to grow them, and I just never could get them to grow without contamination. No matter how sterile I made everything, I could not keep my grow bags from getting contaminated. What are you doing, Hank? What? Really? Hi. Hey, stinky breath. Ugh. Oh, that is horrible. I think you ate the wrong. I think you ate the cat food out of the trash. Ugh. Wet cat food does not smell good the next day. Really? Okay, you can move now. Yeah. Always. And it's not, well, it's almost time. He's got 20 minutes. He's actually doing better tonight than he has been. Lately, it's been 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, he is nonstop trying to get my attention. It's like, no, you got an hour. Tonight, it's 20 minutes till, so he's doing all right. Ugh. He is. it's hard to stay mad at him for any length of time, even though he does things that make me mad. Okay, sit down. There you go. Oh. Whew. Yeah, I know. That's what kind of surprised me too, because normally the time change, he keeps his normal time regardless of the time change, and he didn't do it this time. Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, would it, Hank? Huh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get it. Oh, yeah, I didn't forgot that's laying there. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. I can make him stand up on his hind legs, and it's so cute. I can hold this thing above his head, and he will stand up on his hind legs and reach for it, and then just sit there on his hind legs. All right, here, hop up here. There you go. Get on the back of the chair. That's where you go. That's your spot. There you go. Oh, I think Beth reformulated her mud. I've noticed this batch here that I got not long ago doesn't last as long in the pen as the old stuff does. Which actually is probably a good thing for her because it increases sales. Yep. Yep, that's Beth's mud. That's my lemon drops scent. But I've still got some of the original lemon drops that she made me when she first started her mud business. That was like one of her prototype first muds that she ever made, and with my name on it. And I've still got all of that left because it lasted forever. Like I could fill my pen with the old stuff and get two of these 10 by 10 sections done. And then I would have to change it out. This one here, I barely get a half of a 10 by 10 section done, and I've got to change it out. Now, it may not be that she's reformulated. It may be these drills are just that dirty, and the pen is just picking all the dirt up. I don't know. Yeah, you gotta. you've really got to watch with you got to go to Etsy and you've got to favorite her shop so that you'll get notifications when she drops new stuff, because she doesn't have like a schedule or anything that she drops on. She just drops it when she has it ready. And so you never know when she's going to drop it. But normally it's late at night when she does, like around this time or so. And it doesn't really stay in stock. Like it goes pretty quick once she drops it. The cats have done hidden my other little container that I bought when I bought this one. I bought another container of like honeysuckle scented, and I cannot find it for the life of me because the cats have done knocked it off and carried it off somewhere or done something with it, because I don't know where it went. Yeah, same thing. That's when I got these. I got these in like 2019. That container there, and then this one was it's Drea's Island Dreams, and that I got that right after I got this, and I've still got a ton of both of them. Yeah, they done knocked it off the desk and knocked it under something or somewhere. Yeah, I know. I'm missing other things too in the same fashion. Things that were laying on the desk the last time I saw them. Because when I'm at work all day, they just knock stuff off my desk. I'm getting a headache, y'all. I don't know why. Maybe from looking at this thing. I don't know. It's almost like a sinus headache, though. You got 8. No, I ate right before I went live. Like I had just finished eating because I waited till the race was over. It didn't end till like 6, and then I went to Wendy's, and I was in the drive-through line at Wendy's for like a half hour, and I didn't get home till like 7. And I sat down to eat, and I just finished eating when I went live. No, this is almost like a sinus infection. It's like right behind my eyes. And I think what it is, it's because of the angle that I'm sitting here. It's the angle that I'm sitting here looking at this. The way the light was hitting it, I'm having to like move my eyes and do gymnastics with my head trying to figure out and see the canvas. No, it's not even squinting. It's just the reflection of the light off of the canvas, because I had this light right here, and the way it was hitting like this, it was reflecting off the canvas, and all you could see was the light glaring off the canvas instead of the uh, instead of the symbols, and you had to like move your eyes a weird way to try to see the symbols, and I think it's just what it is. My head's hurting from that. Oh, well, it is 10 minutes to 11. Wow. 10 minutes to 11 already. Where is this weekend gone? They don't last long enough. Now I got to go back to work for 5 days. Maybe even have to work next weekend. I don't know yet. I may have to work next Saturday. Just depends on whether I get all my appointments that I had to have for the month done. If I can get through my appointment list before Friday evening, then I can stay home on Saturday. If not, I got to go out and do a few appointments on Saturday. Which isn't a big deal because there won't be many to do. And all of those will be easy ones because they were people that I have tried to contact multiple times in the month and have not been able to get a hold of. And so when that happens, we just put them on the schedule for a free slot that we have, and we go by and do an outside only. So I just throw on the backpack spray or spray around the outside, leave, and go do the next. So it takes a real quick job. Look at a lot of these bees. All right, y'all. I think it's about time we call it for tonight. Another weekend done. Another live finished. Be on the lookout during the week, this week, as soon as I get everything straightened out. Be on the lookout for a big announcement for the channel. And also, I think when I get done with this live, I'm actually going to schedule the 24-hour live that I'm going to do on the 6th. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you go over there and click the notify me on it when you see it. That way it'll notify you when I'm about to go live, because it is 2 weeks from now. But I think I'm going to go create that while I am thinking about it while I've got a chance. And that way it'll be sitting up there for 2 months for people to find, or 2 weeks for people to find. And keep in mind that I'm going to be there, so that maybe I'll I'll maximize my viewership for that. And again, special announcement this week. Can't wait to see how this works out. Actually, I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. One of them is already set up, ready to go. I'm just waiting for one more thing. And then I've got a second thing in the pipeline that I'm just starting to think about, but it won't take long to implement it if I do, which is going to be pretty cool. I think everybody will get a laugh out of it. Mrs. Coffee's Twitch, thank you. I will remember that. In fact, let me right-click that, open link in new tab. There we go. Caffeinated doodler, huh? So does she not go live on YouTube anymore? I thought she still did her Friday night lives on YouTube. Oh, okay. She does both. All right. Because I was going to stop by her YouTube and say hi. because she wouldn't recognize me. She wouldn't recognize me on my Twitch name because my Twitch name has nothing to do with diamond painting. In fact, I don't even know what my Twitch name is. I started to Twitch because I was going to stream myself playing MLB The Show 22, and I just never got around to it. Or stream myself playing Minecraft, maybe even both. My name's the same everywhere. Normally, my name is too. This is probably the only place that you'll see me with anything other than Shoreboy31, SHOREBOY31. In fact, I actually have a YouTube, but it goes by that name too. I don't know if I have anything uploaded on that or not. I don't think so. Either that or that's the one I uploaded, just my random crap that I just wanted to save. I've had that one since before they changed the monetization requirements. And at one time it was actually monetized, but I never made anything off of it, like 6 cents, I think. And of course, I got my Dave's backpacking adventures channel too. That I have tons of footage that I need to go through and edit together for different hikes that I've been on. I just haven't done it. It's so time consuming to edit together hiking videos and trim and splice and everything so that I don't end up with a 2.5 hour video from all the footage I took. That's the only problem with doing the hiking channel. It's like I can never seem to get a single weekend hike to come out to less than an hour of footage. And nobody wants to sit and watch an hour-long video of me rambling in the woods. I mean, there's some pretty views, like up on top of the mountain and hanging out there. But, I mean, otherwise, it's just a vlog of me hiking on a trail in the woods, talking while I'm hiking. And then I usually do a little bit of footage from at the camp when I stop at night to set up the tent, camp out for the night. I'll grab a little footage there, a little footage when I wake up in the morning, get ready to hit the trail again. Yeah, it could be. Like I said, I've still got 3 hikes worth of footage, 3 weekend hikes worth of footage that I've got to go through still and edit together. Maybe one of these days when I've got a lot of spare time, I will do it. I really started the channel because I was going to hike the Appalachian Trail this year from Georgia to Maine, and I was going to document the entire journey. And that didn't happen. So I just kind of lost interest in doing that channel, I guess. I still go hiking, but filming everything just kind of takes away half of the enjoyment of being on the trail. Oh, hey, Diane. All right, y'all. It has been 3 hours and 1 minute. And Hank is sitting here patiently, I might add, waiting. So I'm going to hop off of here. Y'all have a great week. Keep doing what you do. And rock on and roll tide, y'all.